everyone dug in really hard. I thought Stu was great, bailed us out whenever we had a breakdown. The kill was great. Defensively really, really good.
What does Stu coming in and pitching 2 straight shutouts in such important games, a series clincher, mean to this team?
Well, hopefully it shuts a lot of people up that we're talking about him, first and foremost. But, we've always had belief in him, comes in and pitches 2 shutouts. Can't say enough good things.
To see Kasperi getting the winning goal in overtime, is it a great illustration of the day?
Absolutely. A guy that didn't start the series playing, comes in and is asked to play in a big role, and finds a way to get a goal there, a huge goal. Really good.
I think a lot of people saw this game going longer than 5. This series going a lot longer than 5 games. What does it say about your team that you were able to play Vegas the way that you did?
There's probably a lot of people that thought it was going to go longer than 5, and probably not a lot of people that thought we would win. It's nice to keep on rolling, keep on proving people wrong. We got a lot of belief in this room. It's fun to be part of.
Connor, you asked obviously about the way you guys have defended the last couple of games, but it just seems like there's been a natural progression over the last couple of years even. Have you seen that, the way that you guys defend and feel more comfortable defending as a group?
I mean, how many times are we going to answer this question, really? Honestly, that's frustrating that we keep talking about this. We can defend. We can. We've showed that time and time again. Come into a tough building and win a 1-0 game when it matters most. We can play that way. We can score goals. We can, whatever it takes, we can win games.
Do you, I know it's a different year and it's different players and stuff. Does this team look different than last year's team and perhaps maybe a little bit better, maybe a little bit deeper? What do you think at this stage?
Tough to compare. I know we got a good team. Obviously we keep showing it. We've beaten 2 really, really good teams. LA, Vegas, obviously. And we've done it largely kind of grinding through special teams, PK's been battling the power play, struggled all series long, and, that's a new story for you guys to write too, 5-on-5, we've been really, really good.
You have a thought on going to the conference final for the 3rd time last 4 years?
Not really excited, obviously. Excited. We keep putting ourselves in good positions and keep giving ourselves a chance. We keep knocking at the door. That's all you can do. Keep giving yourself a chance.
It's a team. You have a new defense partner for the final 2 games. Goaltender comes in, pitches back-to-back shutouts that didn't start the series, and the guy on your right scored the game winner in overtime. Just your thoughts on maybe the depth of the squad and what this is like for you guys to know that you can rely on that many different players to help get the win.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think for our group, obviously coming to the playoffs, we got a lot of belief in each other. It shows, Cappy wasn't in the beginning of the series, comes in and makes an impact 2 nights in a row and brings energy to our group. Same with Stetch. Stetch came in and was great. Stu, it's guys that really care about the team, as a collective, and I think you talk about it when you go through the playoffs, everyone's going to have their moment where there's an opportunity to step up, and it's those are 3 cases of it right there.
Kasperi won a World Junior title scoring in overtime. Just your thoughts on being out in that situation and, coaches believing in you and putting you out there to grind one out.
Yeah, just to be honest, it doesn't really matter who scores as long as somebody does, right? And we don't want to prolong the series any longer. And but I think the goal is important, yes, but I think without Stu and guys putting their body on the line and making those little plays and sacrifices, we wouldn't be here. So it was a team effort for sure.
Kasperi, just building off of that, maybe take us through your mindset after having to wait 9 games to draw into the playoff lineup. You get your chance last game. You're shot out of a cannon. You wanted to make your impact. Well, you made it today. Maybe take us through the mindset and then what it means to you to cap off the series.
There's so many good players on this team that I understood when Albert told me that I wasn't going to start playing against LA, and that was fine. And the team was playing really well, so we weren't changing anything with our lineup, which was understandable. And then that's the main goal. That's the most important thing is the team winning and us advancing. And I knew eventually I'd probably get a chance, and just being patient and being ready. And I think last game it was pretty obvious how much I had a lot of energy there, and just trying to make an impact that way and just keeping it simple. And today just kind of getting lucky being in the right spot at the right time. And but yeah, this one feels nice.
Biggest goal of your career?
It's certainly up there for sure.
Darnell, just want to ask about the characteristics of your group. What did it take to defeat the Vegas Golden Knights in 5 games in a series which a lot of people had it going 6 or 7?
I mean, a lot of people had it going the other way. So 6 or 7 is generous. I think for us as a group, it came down to defending. Vegas is obviously one of the top teams in the league, and a tough matchup. Anytime you play against them, you got, as playing in their division, you have so much respect for the way that they play the game, and so we knew that we had to come out and there'd have to be 60-minute efforts. And I think for the most part we did do that. And when our goaltenders were leaned on, they made huge stops for us in huge moments. You go to the special teams. I thought our penalty kill, for as rough as it started, did a lot of good things at the end there too. And our power play gained momentum for us, even when the puck wasn't going in. So I think for our group, we know that if we want to have any success, it starts with defending, and the offense will come off that. And we were more conscious and did a better job of that in this series.
Darnell, Stuart Skinner's been through a lot in this playoffs, and you've been there. Just a thought on his play and be able to bounce back and quiet a lot of critics.
Oh yeah, he's got to be feeling good. It's not much better than quieting all the people when they're talking crap about you. So I think for him, he showed up, and we don't win the series if he doesn't step up and plays the way that he does. And it's a goaltender that in a lot of ways took us to the Stanley Cup Finals last year and showed up again for us huge in this series.
How much belief do you guys have in him? Because it seems like he does bounce back. He can, like you said, backstop you guys all the way.
Yeah, we have a ton of confidence in him. Stu, when his work ethic and his approach to the game, and the way he comes in each and every day, and he wants to be at his best and work to be at his best each and every day. I think he's a special goaltender in this league. Truly believe that, and we're fortunate to have him.
Darnell, why do you think why you were so effective defensively the last 2 games?
I think it was our commitment to being above and not giving up odd man rushes. Obviously, Vegas is a very good team when it comes to odd man rushes and capitalizing off defensive turnovers. So for us, we were very conscious of keeping our team, the 5 guys between our net and the puck, and getting above their defenseman, that good skating defenseman, and a lot of offensive firepower when you turn the puck over. So I think we did a much more conscious effort in getting pucks deep and just playing a simple game, and kind of built off that.
Darnell, given the kind of the volatility with the roster and the lineup late in the regular season, even early in the playoffs, how would you describe the way this team has been able to come together in the playoffs? Yeah,
I think there was always going to be some moments of cohesion that had to come, for our teams to come together, and there's a feel to being on the ice with 4 other guys, and knowing where they're going to be on the ice and knowing where to put the puck. So there's going to be an adjustment period for us. I think we managed that first, and then you can just tell as these 2 series have gone on, there's more and more cohesion coming within our group. And with that said, this is not the end. We got to continue to build our game and continue to be better, because we have high goals for ourselves.
You've been asked about defending the last game tonight, all that. Seems like there's been a growth the last couple of years. Do you feel that, and how would you kind of quantify how that's happened?
I would say it's just a collection of, going through some high stakes games and knowing that at the end of the day, if you want to have success in this league, no matter what it is, you get outside of that regular season, especially, and get more and more playoff experience. You don't win the playoffs unless you defend. It doesn't. You can't outscore your chances. You may be able to, you may be able to outscore your mistakes 1 or 2 games in the whole series, or in the whole run, but you're not going to be able to do it on a nightly basis. And I think for our group, the more we've gone through that, the more we recognize that.
Just 4 years ago, Darnell, you finished your season basically playing 9-4 in a triple overtime game, I think it is. Are you as well positioned now in terms of the total team and the total depth of this team than it's ever been in your tenure as an Oiler?
I would say so. I would say we're as deep a team as I've played on, and you go throughout the lineup. Guys can score, guys can check. There's a commitment to playing the right way. Through our D-core, there's a high level of confidence for each and every guy there too, to be out in any situation. So, yeah, I would say we definitely have the pieces. Now it's just like I said, continuing to hammer away. We're not. I would say with 2 series left, we're still far from a finished product.
Kasperi wasn't a pretty OT winner at all. Kind of hard to follow. Can you take us into your skates of what you saw in that play and kind of the emotions directly afterward?
Well, I appreciate you asking me a question, first of all. So Darnell doesn't have to speak the whole time.
I thought it was pretty, by the way.
It
was pretty.
No, I mean, I don't think there's a lot to it. I think Podsy made a great play on the blue line, and Leon gave it to Doc, and just kind of threw it on net. And I think I missed it a couple times, and just trying to just stay with it, and lucky it went in. So I think that pretty much summed up the whole game today. There wasn't too many grade A chances, but yeah, just happy it went in.
I got two left. For you, when you come to Edmonton, Edmonton's always sort of looked at as a high offensive team. Guys come here to play with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and now we're in crunch time, and it's a 0-0 after 60 minutes. Shutout last game. Is this maybe a different team than you perhaps thought you were joining?
No, I knew exactly what kind of team I was coming to, and we still have that offensive firepower. I don't think that's ever, not been the case. But today was just one of those games where both teams, I felt like, defended pretty well, and both goalies played well. So that overtime goal is pretty much just throwing it on net and getting guys there, and then just staying with it. So we still have a lot of firepower up front, but I think we've been doing a phenomenal job defending as well.
Darnell, last one for me. You went through this last year. You're halfway. There are 2 rounds through this year. Is this team a better team this year? Is it a different team?
We still got work to do before we say that we're better. There's a lot of hockey to be played, but it's definitely a different team, calm team. A lot of guys have been through a lot of different experiences in this league and played on a lot of different teams. I think, we're using it to our advantage. So we got to continue to build that game, the poise, the calm, and the rest will take care of itself.
On the win, can you just describe that win? It was just a game where it was grinding out, not a lot of flow. Just a thought on being able to pull this one out.
I think both teams very tired, put everything out on the line, and weren't making many mistakes. So there wasn't many chances back and forth, but it feels really good to be able to come in here and obviously finish the series when we did, because it certainly was not easy beating Vegas for four times with, the way they play, the way they're constructed. They've got a great lineup. They're very well coached, and the players play a really good system. Like they're dedicated to it. So to come in and be able to win 4-5 against this team, very, very fortunate that we're able to do that.
And just a thought on Stu coming in here and pitching back-to-back shutouts, and the team played well in front of him, but he made some big saves tonight as well.
He did. I think the last 2 nights we defended pretty well in front of him. Was it perfect? No. Was there some chances? Definitely. And he came up big last 2 nights. The other night, early in the game, especially on the penalty kill. Some other big saves through there tonight. We needed them, especially as the game wore on in the third period. A lot more saves were needed. But, not only making the saves, but looking confident doing it. And, if anyone needed to feel good about their game and have a little reward, he definitely deserved it because, the playoffs didn't start off ideally for him, obviously. But I think also the numbers kind of lie a little bit. Sometimes numbers lie. I don't think his save percentage, I don't think his goals against really is that bad. I think it was just under circumstances. And you knew we were going to need him. We went with picks for a little while. And then when he had his opportunity, he came up and played really well for us.
He wasn't the only guy that came in and, contributed here. You said when the playoffs started, you were going to need lots of players. Stetcher again tonight, solidifying your D with 3 pairings. And Kapanen, just a thought on, keep the energy up with a guy like that. That's a guy that's 500 games in the league and gets healthy scratch for the first 9 games of the playoffs, and how he rewarded you tonight.
Well, both those guys, we relied on quite a bit. Obviously Stetcher, unfortunately last year wasn't available because of his injury, and and then this year we signed him, come back, played majority of the games this year. I think very highly of him, but because of the injury when he got it, other guys played at the end of the season, played well, and just pushed him out. And then obviously with Kapanen, there's a guy that we picked up off waivers and has played the majority of the games. But then when the playoffs started, you're inserting Kane, you're inserting Frederick, other guys who are coming back from injury. He kind of got pushed out. But throughout the playoffs, or heading into the playoffs, we knew we were going to need other guys, whether there's injuries, other guys playing well. You need a certain role type. And then, Cappy, the last 2 games, comes up huge. A lot of big hits the other night, a lot of energy, and then tonight, obviously, with the goal.
You were disciplined as well as a coach because you didn't go the nuclear option in overtime. You just kind of rolled over the lines. You even had your 4th line out there. They didn't play a lot in the third period. Is that you wanting to show that, you're calm and you've got belief in your team? Granted, you're up 3-1, but you kind of just stuck with your lines.
I think with our team, there was a couple shifts there. McDavid and Draisaitl played together. I believe that was near the end of the second period. I think there's 2 shifts and that's it. But, I don't think it was necessarily a line combination or switching lines up that was going to win us the game. I think players just having to go out and execute and find a play. And, I think it was for the 4th line, I think they played well. And also they had their legs. They didn't play as much minutes. And I think as this series wore on, and I know we only got to 5 games, but I think it was really hard, physical series on everybody. And you could see it just with the way the game was being played. And, I think it was important for us to use all 4 lines. And that 4th line was playing well, so there's no reason to hide them.
Chris, in a game that's that tight, you have to win one battle, and your team does win the one battle at the slot. Just what did that say about this group, particularly in that clutch situation, just to come up and win that critical battle?
Well, I think there's, we won that last battle to put the puck in the net, but, I think especially later in the third period, I think Vegas was taking it to us. We spent a lot of time in the defensive zone. But I think about all the block shots, all the desperation plays that we played in defensive zone, fighting to get pucks out of our zone, those kind of little things, I think really allowed us to get to overtime. And then with the goal, I saw 2 remarkable plays. One you saw at the end with Kapanen battling and not getting pushed away from the net and fighting through that and being able to put the puck in the net. But, it also starts with an entry with Podkolzin at the blue line where he's able to protect the puck. He's got pressure on him and he's able to make the pass cross ice, which leads to the puck into the net. But, a lot of plays like that, and that's what you need this time of the year. Against good teams. You don't need that many kind of plays against the poor teams. They usually give you your opportunities. But, against Vegas, you really have to fight for it because they don't give you very much.
You talked about really fighting for it against them. Bruce had said earlier that no matter how this series turned out, he expected to see you guys again in the next couple of years. I think he said you two are the kings of the division, and until further notice, I guess, that you'd probably be playing a couple of times the next couple of years. So do you kind of see that in the future? And I know you're on better things right now, but this kind of rivalry developing?
I don't know. I see some quality teams in our division. Obviously, Vegas is going to be a good team for a while. But I see some other competition there with other guys probably going to step up. So, it's most likely we'll run into each other at some point. But I don't know if, fortunately we are one of the top guys for the next couple of years. I hope we are. But I don't know. I'm sure there's other teams who would have something to say about that.
Chris, you mentioned the at times sustained zone time that Vegas had, and they didn't really generate a lot. I'm just wondering if you feel this team has gotten a lot more comfortable being able to withstand those types of offensive forays from other teams.
Well, I think, I said this last year during this run, during the playoffs, and this year too, I don't think our guys get enough credit about how well we can defend. And we can make some plays, and we don't give up very much. I saw that in the series. Like, there wasn't many scoring chances, especially tonight. Any time that we had some pressure in their zone and had some offensive zone time, I don't know. We had a tough time getting that puck to the net and creating good scoring chances. And, I thought our guys did a pretty good job keeping it limited for them. So usually for them to get the puck to the net, and for us too, there was usually many layers to get through to get it to the net. And it just wasn't easy.
You guys have won a lot of different types of games in this playoffs. Is that kind of a nice thing for a coach to see, given the run you guys probably won?
You have to. Obviously, if you win games with Leon and Connor leading the way, that's an absolute given. I think we've won some games where our goalie outperformed the other goalie. We were able to win those types, and then there's games where our depth guys came through and scored big goals. So, I'm very happy with the way everybody's contributed, and we're only. Hopefully we're only halfway through this, but we're going to need contributions from everybody again.